The CIA has consistently engaged in this, and to say that an organization that has consistently engaged in this behavior is not is in a state where it can be reformed is idiotic. So, the CIA, very fun organization known for being very, 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 very morally neutral when it comes to any. Listen, let me just put it like this. The CIA is one of the most involved organizations when it comes to the world. And that is a good or a bad thing. I'm scratching. That is a scratch. I'm not Nick Fuentes. That's a fucking scratch. The CIA is a terrorist organization. Yes, we can talk about that. So, recently in left adjacent Twitter, for some reason, it has become a bit of a contention to say that the CIA is a bad organization or that the CIA should be abolished. So, before I get into the talking points here, I'm going to say two things. I am trying to get into the debate sphere, and if anyone wants to debate me on the CIA, or how the CIA isn't necessarily the best organization, or that the CIA is, in my opinion, far from reform and should just be deconstructed, and a different organization put in its place to fulfill intelligence purposes, feel free to DM me. Feel free to join my Discord and put it in debate a pillow submissions. Links all in the descriptions. Please feel free to. I'm perfectly fine with it. I'll have to schedule a date because I do have other things on my plate, but I would be perfectly fine with talking with you pretty much any time. With that being said, I will be covering two bits of this CIA controversy. One that I got involved in and one that I've been passively sort of sitting on the sidelines of. So, if I exit and I go to my replies, we're gonna look at one of our good friends on twitter.com, the very, very lovely Hansa Farkir. So, to the people who know of Hansa Farkir and what has been going down with our kind friend recently, bear with me for a little while, whether it be the issue of xenogenders or neopronouns or defending the CIA. We kinda get some lovely things here. Why the fuck is Sapnap Trent? It's every fucking day, man. It's every fucking day. I'm legitimately convinced that the constant trending of Minecraft YouTube is in of itself a CIA psyop to make people go fucking insane. I'm legitimately convinced because it's fucking working. Jesus. I'm kidding, like what you like, but I'm gonna boop. Boop. Always make sure to tell Twitter what you want. So, our lovely friend Hansa Farkir here, I'm kind of covering the tweet with my chat, but Hansa Farkir is essentially saying, thing bad, abolish thing, build new thing that does the same job, but make it good. No, we can't reform old thing to do that. I'm very smart. So, what the hell is Sapnap? Sapnap is a modern Minecraft YouTube creator. Think of him like the Stampede Longnose of 2021, but for fatherless children. I'm kidding. So, a bit of context for where this tweet is coming from. There has been some discourse about the CIA on Twitter, and it has basically boiled down to, in many ways, the CIA is not very good. And a lot of people are saying deconstruct the CIA. I'm in favor of deconstructing the CIA, which I'll get into later, but make sure to watch until that point. So, I responded. This is something I got personally involved in. I responded by saying, how do you propose we reform the CIA then? You can see me, I have my little festive Christmas hat. Look at me. I'm a festive pillow. So I respond by saying, how do you propose we reform the CIA then? Because it is very clear, just through what was generally going on Twitter at the time that he was talking about the CIA, he even liked a reply to my tweet. That reply saying, more honest and transparent. So I respond with saying, within the bounds of realism, because I don't see the CIA becoming more honest and transparent, if I'm being quite honest with you. So, Hans says, and what's your idea for a new agency that does accomplish these things? Which is something that I did answer in my reply down here, and I will continue to answer. And then he says, within the bounds of realism. And then he goes on to say, imagine being an abolish everything bad anarchist and still thinking you're the pragmatic one. Holy shit. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Never in my life have I ever read anarchist theory. So, I feel like what happened here is Hans was looking at other Twitter lefties that may call themselves anarchists, and then said this little line out of a bit of unfettered rage at those Twitter lefties without considering the fact that, hey, maybe the person that he's directing that at might not be, a fucking anarchist, which I do not describe myself as an anarchist, because I've never read anarchist theory, which I say as much here. I've legit never read anarchist theory. There you go. With that being said, abolish the current structure of the CIA and make it an agency which is strictly dedicated to intelligence, with no room for unwarranted regime change, or flooding communities with crack. We will get back to that one later. Or drugging people and watching them fuck. So, that is how that interaction went. Before we continue along with this glorious talk about the CIA, I think it's safe to say, after that nice little interaction, lesson to be learned is don't assume the political beliefs of everyone that you're talking to on Twitter. Not everyone who wants to abolish the CIA, or thinks that the CIA cannot be reformed, is doing it because there are some anarchists. And by openly attacking someone on Twitter and treating them like an anarchist when they aren't, and automatically assuming that they are, I had a stroke. Immediately assuming that they are an anarchist when they aren't, kinda makes you look a little like you're coming at your position not from a place of genuine belief, but as a response, as a reaction, not calling Hans a reactionary, but as a reaction to the politics of someone else, instead of people that you actively dislike, instead of actually considering their talking points. So, with that being said, here's my belief on why the CIA should be abolished and can't be reformed. So, tea break. The CIA is an organization which has consistently engaged in a lot of shady shit, to put it to the least, whether it be putting microphones and transmitters in kitty cats and sending them into the Kremlin to spy on Soviets. That is Operation Acoustic Kitty. Paying prostitutes to fuck people in San Francisco and then drugging them with psychoactive drugs and then watching them through a two-way mirror. Operation Midnight Climax. Or the various times the CIA was involved in regime change and attempted coups and successful coups. Too many to fucking mention, if I'm being honest. Just look it up, man. The CIA has escaped its purview of what it should be as an intelligence agency and uses the privileges allotted to it as an intelligence agency to commit vast abuses. And these privileges that I'm talking about are specifically the fact that intelligence agencies do, and in my personal beliefs, should have the right to a bit of non-transparency which are not allotted to them, which are not allotted to other parts of governments or other government organizations. Now, I'll say why I think that intelligence orgs shouldn't necessarily always have transparency, which is due to the fact that keeping certain intelligence under wraps can be important for national security. The issue is when these organizations take that right of non-transparency and fucking goes moon logic and starts watching people fuck on LSD. Yeah, or starts doing very, very unethical things in other countries, like collapsing their nations whenever they elect a slightly left-leaning leader, or engaging in regime change, which is what I just mentioned, or again, sending cats into that one is really funny. I'll keep mentioning it because Acoustic Kitty and Midnight Climax are the funniest fucking shit ever. And it's also a testament to the fact that the CIA is in a current state where its power is extremely unchecked, and in my opinion, due to the way the current structure of the CIA is, if you were to reform it to a point where it literally only serves the function as an intelligence agency, which it should, the CIA would literally be unrecognizable to what it is right now. Which is why I am in support of abolition of the CIA and replacing it with an agency that is strictly dedicated to intelligence purposes. Not regime change, not crazy MK Ultra shit, not drugging people, not helping insurgents abroad for no fucking reason other than securing US interest in a country. I don't believe that a government organization should have that amount of unchecked power, and I especially believe that a government agency like that shouldn't be using the guise of an intelligence agency and the privileges allotted to an intelligence agency when it comes to a bit of leeway of being non-transparent to make those abuses of power. No government organization should be able to do that, which is why I say abolish the CIA. It isn't because I am, as our kind friend here says, it's not because I'm an abolish everything bad anarchist who thinks that I am the pragmatic one, like Hans says here. It's not because I'm an abolish everything anarchist. It's legitimately because I have thought through my position, which I'm not saying that anarchists haven't thought through their position, but it's because I've thought through my position and I've come to the realization that sometimes systems are so far gone that they cannot be reformed, or if you even tried to approach reform, the only thing that could potentially reform these systems or these organizations is a complete overhaul to the point where you might as well not keep the fucking same thing. It's basically a ship of Theseus, what you would have to do, which of course the ship of Theseus isn't an actual fucking thing, but that's basically what you would have to do to the CIA to change it. You would have to replace pretty much every single bit and piece, and then you would only have the name. Which in that case, is it really the fucking CIA anymore? That is the question. So, keep in mind that if they have the privilege to not be transparent, they need to be responsible for their actions. Exactly. That is a very good point, Lord Pinch. So, with that being said, we're going to be moving on to our other boy of the night in concern to the CIA topic, our lovely, lovely friend, Hunter Avallone, where all of this sparked from. So, let us... Yeah, there's been a little bit of a war between Hunter and Shieldhead. So, and it's been quite a memey one. So, brought up the crack epidemic earlier. Hunter Avallone has consistently said that the CIA has not spread crack into minority communities, etc., etc., etc. I'm fine with that. So, when addressing Hunter, in particular, on the topic of the CIA, I'm not going to bring that up. I will, however, if I can pull it up, bring up a laundry list of shit the CIA has done, labeled A to Z. So, let's talk about some shit. First, let's go to good old Twitter. So, you have shit about the crack epidemic, more shit about the crack epidemic. It seems like Hunter has been focusing on the crack epidemic, which is perfectly fine, because we can talk about other shit. Because, trust me, the CIA is like a content fucking farm when it comes to fucked up crazy shit. So, I have my headphones in, hopefully. They are connected to my laptop. Nope, they connected to my phone. That is really lame. Let me just exit out here. Oh, cool. So, checking, I'm gonna have to cut that out in editing. I fucking hate myself. Okay, let's talk about some CIA controversies. So, the following is a list of controversies involving the Central Intelligence Agency. Throughout its history, the CIA has been subject to a number of controversies, both at home and abroad. The Legacy of Ashes, the history of the CIA by Tim Weiner, accuses the CIA of covert actions and human rights abuses. Jeffrey T. Richardson of the National Security Archive has been critical of its claims. Intelligence expert David Wise faulted Weiner for portraying Alan Dulles as a doddering old man rather than a shrewd professional spy, and for refusing to concede that the agency's leaders may have acted on patriotic motives or that the CIA ever did anything right, but concluded Legacy of Ashes succeeds as both journalism and history, and it must be reading for anyone interested in the CIA or American intelligence since World War II. The CIA itself has responded to the claims made in Weiner's books, and has described it as a 600-page op-ed piece masquerading as serious history. That's the CIA for you. So, we have some glorious things here. Let's see what exactly the CIA has been engaged in. So, let's get some domestic wiretapping going over here. Let's do security failures. Human rights concerns. External investigations and document releases, influencing the public opinion and law enforcement. What an intelligence agency should do. CIA's recruitment of Nazis. Getting spicy with this one. Drug trafficking, okay. And, we could do alleged lying to Congress or covert programs hidden from Congress. I'm gonna do that one. Okay, domestic wiretapping. Main article, Project Mockingbird. Let's pull this one up. It was a wiretapping operation initiated by United States President John F. Kennedy to identify sources of government leaks by eavesdropping on communications of journalists. Eavesdropping on the communications of journalists, as any government organization meant to uphold the Constitution should do. Okay. In October 21, the Mill Center for Public Affairs published transcripts of secretly recorded conversations in the Oval Office during the summer of 1962 in which Kennedy took steps using the CIA to spy on Hanson Baldwin, the national security reporter for the New York Times. Baldwin had angered the president with an article in the 26th July 1962 issue of the New York Times that divulged classified information from a recent national intelligence estimate, including a comparison of the United States and the Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals and the Soviets' efforts to protect their intercontinental ballistic missile sites. According to declassified documents, the order for warrantless wiretaps came from the Director of Central Intelligence, John McCone, who coordinated with the United States Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, United States Secretary of Defense McNamara, and Director of Defense Intelligence Joseph Carroll. The program was run by the Office of Security, headed by Sheffield Edwards. Okay, we're just getting a bunch of names. Hold up. Yeah. The CIA's investigations of newsmen to determine their sources of classified information stemmed from pressures from the White House and were partly a result of the FBI's unwillingness to undertake such investigations. The FBI refused to proceed without any advance opinion that the Justice Department would prosecute if cases were developed. They concluded the CIA has no authority to investigate newsmen simply because they have published leaked classified information. That is an abuse of power by the CIA. That is one of them. So, let's see another one. Down the list again. Security failures. On December 30th, 2009, a suicide attack occurred at the Forward Operating Base Chapman attack in the province of Khost, Afghanistan. 7 CIA officers, including the chief of the base, were killed and others seriously wounded in the attack. Let's see what this is in reference to. You know, actually, I may be criticizing the CIA, but I'm not even gonna... Being honest, I'm not even gonna go that hard into conspiracy bait. I'm not gonna do that. Sometimes links just fucking die, if I'm being honest with you, but that's pretty funny. Let me not drink so close to the microphone. Fuck, that's mostly like water now. Jesus. Tastes horrible. Okay. So it looks like we can't do that one. Let's go to... Oh god, human rights... Jesus. Fuck. Okay. That's the CIA, baby. The CIA has also been called into question for, at times, using torture, funding and training of groups and organizations that would later participate in the killing of civilians and other non-combatants, or would succeed to try and overthrow democratically elected governments. Fun. Human experimentation and targeted killings and assassinations. The CIA has also been accused of a lack of financial and whistleblower controls, which has led to waste and fraud. During Bush's year in charge of the CIA, which they're talking about Bush Sr., beautiful fellow right here, very beautiful fellow right here, who's in the fucking ground as he should be. Um, the U.S. national security. Listen, kind of glad the fucker died. The U.S. national security apparatus actively supported Operation Condor operations and right-wing military dictatorships in Latin America. This is what a reformable agency can do. A reformable agency can absolutely support right-wing demagogues and dictatorships in Latin America. We can definitely reform that agency. Nothing going on there. Then Bush Sr. died. Yeah, he died back in I think he died in 2018 or 2019. We can check real quick. Rip Bozo, Pack Watch, motherfuckers. Hopefully that isn't fucking dead by the time I put this out. Official portrait. When the fuck did he die? Just give me... When did he die? Why was his nickname Skin... Okay, that's weird. Yeah, he died in 2018, aged 94. He was an old ass. Okay, let's get back to this. So, the agency by then had knowledge that U.S.-backed Chilean dictator Pinochet, the guy famous for throwing people out of helicopters for having left-wing viewpoints, ordered the assassination of Mr. Orlando, a leading political opponent living in exile in the U.S. Isn't that fun? I remember in PE class when I was in middle school, they showed a live video of his funeral. Jesus fuck. I mean, I guess he was a U.S. president, so it makes sense for them to, like, show videos of the funeral, but at the same time, that's, like, that's rough. Okay. The Institute on Medicine as a profession and the non-profit organization scratching Open Society. We're doing scuffed streams today, man. Open Society Foundations reviewed the public records into the medical professions alleging complicity in the abuse of prisoners suspected of terrorism who were held in U.S. custody during the years after 9/11. The reports found that health professionals aided cruel and degrading interrogation, helped devise and implement practices designed to maximize disorientation and anxiety so as to make the detainees more malleable for interrogation. This is shit after 9/11. After 9/11. 9/11 happened 20 years ago. That isn't that long on a global time frame. And they've been doing this throughout the entirety of their existence. Torture, regime collapsing. The CIA has been consistently doing this. Okay? And participated in the application of excruciatingly painful methods of force feeding of mentally competent detainees carrying out on hunger strikes. Medical professionals were sometimes used as black sites to monitor detainee health. Black sites, secret CIA prisons, fun. Other human rights issues that are controversial include the case of Edward Snowden. Everyone should know the case of Edward Snowden, so I'm not necessarily going to go too deep into that one. Yep. All down here is Snowden stuff. Furthermore, the leaks included documents at many levels of the National Security Agency, NSA, electronic surveillance activities. The Snowden leaks have generated broad public debate over issues of security, privacy, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. So that's just the human rights concern section. Main article, human rights violations by the CIA. Okay. Wikipedia, I'm sorry, I'm broke too, I can't do it. Okay. Let's just go down the table of contents, man. Training in support of death squads, torture and rendition, torture techniques, enhanced interrogation techniques, waterboarding, finding of war crimes culpability, training in torture, rendition and disappearance, 2000 status of ghost detainees, police training, whole lot of shit, human experimentation, Rockefeller Commission, let's toss that up there, that might be fun, assassinations and targeted killing, assassinations, Castro, DM, Lumumba, Madawi, Trujillo, Sukarno, Nicaragua. Training in support of death squads, we talked about. Well, no, we didn't talk about that. CIA has been involved in the support of and training of death squads that suppressed dissent against US-backed right-wing dictatorships in Latin America. We can reform this, people. We can absolutely reform this, according to some people. Absolutely reform this. Snowden is the hero of the people. True, Snowden is a fucking based god. Indeed. It may be the fullest... Hold up. Much of his account was confirmed by 3 American and 2 Honduran officials. It may be the fullest given of how many army and police units were authorized to organize death squads that seized, interrogated, and killed suspected socialists. We can apparently reform this. We can apparently, according to some people, we can apparently reform this shit. An organization that has consistently engaged in these human rights abuses, we can apparently reform it. That's what we can apparently fucking do. And it's insane how little oversight and limits the CIA was able to operate, and that's the inherent issue. That's my wallpaper. I like the Owl House. It's art by Dana Terrace herself. I like the Owl House. But that is the thing that I am trying to hold the point home with. An organization like the CIA has consistently engaged in these human rights abuses, has consistently engaged in these civil rights abuses, in regime change, in political, what the fuck is the word for it? In political suppression. The CIA has consistently engaged in this, and to say that an organization that has consistently engaged in this behavior is in a state where it can be reformed is idiotic. The CIA, inherent to its core, the CIA is an organization that has been against reform, that has been against nations taking the reins of their own political systems and engaging in self-determination. The CIA has been an organization that has tortured people, that has authorized and trained death squads, that has collapsed regimes and put in right-wing dictators who were favorable to the United States, who were favorable to keeping the status quo for the United States. The CIA, in its very core, is against change. The CIA, to its very core, has fought against change. It has mobilized itself against change. It has killed against change. The CIA is not an organization that can be reformed, and the fact that it has so little oversight is what makes it so dangerous. The CIA uses its guise as an intelligence organization, and whatever leeway is given to it as an intelligence organization, in the form of being able to get away with a lack of transparency, to do these abuses, which is why I'm saying this. I want to abolish the CIA, because baked into the CIA's core is this agitation against change, is this agitation against reform. And I think to abolish the CIA is the only way that you can get at reforming it. Because if something is baked in this deep to the core of this organization, it isn't going to be able to be reformed. You have to tear it down from the inside out and then rebuild something new. That is what I'm trying to get at. Fuck the CIA. Absolutely fuck the CIA. With that being said, I didn't expect to be this explosive with it, but we are 34 minutes into this segment. I never expected that to happen. The Dutch intelligence agency, AIVD, does it pretty well, I think. It seems to be a good model. I might have to do that as a different segment sometime here soon, hopefully. I want to move on to fun George Carlin shit, because I have talked a lot this time, and I kind of want to do some react Andy, respond Andy shit. But, like I said earlier, thank you for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. Links to my Twitter and Discord in the description. Like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, if you want to debate me, feel free to DM me on Twitter, send in a DM request, or you can join my Discord and put it in Debate a Pillow submissions. I will get back to you, I will look at it, and I will message you if you do choose to do so, because I do want to talk about the topic of the CIA, because this is something that I feel very passionate about, if you saw earlier. With that being said, if you liked the video, like I said earlier, like it, subscribe, maybe. I'm trying to grow a little bit here. I like the streaming thing. I want to make it a bit more sustainable. And with that being said, thank you for watching the video.